The neighbors. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 63. Here we go. I think they'll do very well for themselves. I think they'll have nothing but success. I think we'll hear cars going by as they succeed. MySpace, YouTube, NoDQ.com, Twitter.com. We're everywhere. NoDQ forums, I think they're even posting the show on now. My God, we are all over the freaking net, just like the good old days of the other show we used to do back on this show. Little Rob Boy, what do you think about TNA's people coming out the door? The neighbors are all around us. They're even outside sometimes. They're sliding screen doors. Bug on your line. People pulling it. I was coming to my driveway. This is my Jeff Meacham white boy dance right here. Latina dance. There you go. Do that. Okay. No fucking consideration. On the beach. All right, this from Jose Luis. Yeah, I like the gimmick. I like the damn it. This is the worst show we've ever done. They're probably doing better with the TV 14 than they are with the TV PG.
Leave it to the professor to botch the Botchamania clip. Holy shit. Welcome to Talk Wrestling here on both NoDQ.com, the YouTube channel, and of course across the Jeff Meacham Network. Jesus Christ, what a clusterfuck this is already. I honest to God. Okay, so before I get into the meat and taters of the day, which is of course answering your questions, should you super chat them, and I appreciate it if you do, as does Aaron, because well, we split that money because it's on his channel and I'm doing the job. So there you go. Anyway, everybody's saying that Jeff hasn't changed a bit since the Botchamania clip, that Jeff with hair must have been before he became a dad or before he got married. I actually never did get married, Adrian. I was never married to Dylan's mother. We were together for a very long time, 6.5 years off and on. He's kind of a train wreck, but it is what it is. And but yes, a lot of that was in the early stages of fatherhood, before the dark times, before the empire. Yeah, it was. I always had a lot of fun doing those shows with Aaron in the front yard of the driveway of the house here. That was back in the day. We're still in the same house now. It's awesome. I love it. I did bring back the old intro. I appreciate that. Since we're doing No DQ stream, I wanted to have the No DQ intro, and I didn't feel like having the time or the effort put into editing the intro that I had there with my updated no DQ logo. So I figured, fuck it, we're on both channels. Whatever, I don't care. Psycho Jet Black already with a $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. My earliest memory of Jeff Meacham is you trashing Ricky Ortiz for the rally towel and that roundtable discussion back in 2008. P.S. Grow back the beard. It's funny that you mentioned the beard, because I now call that the douchey goat, because everybody I've ever seen with that kind of goatee since I wore it has been a complete D-bag. Every single one of them, especially the guy that does the Angels coverage. And I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to get a libel suit thrown against me, but if you're an Angels fan, you know who I'm talking about. And I don't know if he's a nice guy. I never met the guy, but it looks douchey on him. So I don't like that goatee. The beard, the full beard may grow back, like the Kings playoff beard, maybe, if the Kings do well in the 2020/2021 season. Time will tell. As far as Ricky Ortiz for the rally towel, I don't even remember that. Isn't that awful? Like, that was so long ago. I do remember the roundtable discussion that we had on No DQ. Back in the day, when we had the 10-year reunion for No DQ, which shows you how old that clip was, because we had our 20-year a couple years ago. So it's been a long, crazy ride. I was trying to figure out the last time I did a Q&A form Talk Wrestling on the No DQ channel, and I went back and looked, and it turns out it was actually September 2017. It was just after Bobby Heenan had passed, it was it sucked. I hated it because we all love Bobby so much. I still love Bobby. One of the Colin, I think you already have a playoff beard going, sir, but if you say so. But so it's been almost 3 years since I've done a full form Q&A version of Talk Wrestling here on the No DQ side of things. So, well, strap yourselves in, kids. It's going to be a long day. And with that, let me bring in the benefactor, if you will, of yesterday's chat, who bought us all dinner yesterday, because God bless it. I actually haven't bought anything with it yet because we haven't actually got paid yet because YouTube is slow. But anyway, Big Baller G is up into his house. What's up, Big Baller G?
What's up?
It's like shit with a plain background back there, so bear with me here. Let's do that. Script.
Let me go this way.
We'll have the No DQ JMN behind us, and we'll have the Talk Wrestling up in the corner. That way, it's all in the family. Anyway,
in the hood.
So I'll go ahead and ask you, since somebody brought it up, and I threw up the what do you call it, the Botchamania, which I actually botched the botch clip, which is just fantastic. only Jeff can pull that shit off. What is your earliest memory of seeing me on the No DQ side of things? Or my own stuff. Let me just throw it out there. Whatever you've seen.
I want to say, I think I started back in 2013.
Okay. So I was still on hiatus. Shit.
Yeah, I was watching No DQ, but then I had gone back and I think I found your channel. And I went back and
the
watched
Casa.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you've done some good shit. We've had our good times,
I've had
bad
good
times,
shit.
up
That's
and
right.
down.
That's it. I've had good shit. I appreciate that. So,
Not a problem.
yeah, it's like I said earlier, it's been a long, crazy 18 years, and I was actually talking to Dylan. I made myself so sad when I had this moment in my head right as I was saying it to him. 2020 will be the first calendar year that Aaron and I have not been in a wrestling venue together.
Yeah.
And
Dang.
I think that fucking sucks. It's awful, and it's just that year. So it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Colin Andrew with the $2 super chat. Thank you, Colin. He'll join us around 6:40. So we've got about a half hour before we are invaded by the Cleaver. So we'll keep that in mind. Awesome. So people are saying 2007, 2008 for Jeff Meacham memories. July 2007, which of course 2007 is the debut of Talk Wrestling. So if you've been with me that long, God bless you. Because we watched that show on the Jeff Meacham Network recently. We watched it back, and my God, was Jeff Meacham a dickhead or what on that show? But you know what? We were. It was at a point where the business was hurting. Like we were like, I mean, using the word bleeding is a nasty term when it comes to what happened, but we were all like hurt inside about what happened with Chris Benoit. So we were all just angry. Like we were all a bunch of angry people, and we were cast out by society like lepers because, oh, you're a wrestling fan? Well, look what that guy did. So it's like we were looked at like pieces of shit. So I acted like a piece of shit. So
I'm trying to think where I was when that all happened. 2007. I was in Germany still when that happened.
Oh, geez. Yeah, it's so funny. Gee, the memory of that day. I mean, it's some people have the moon landing. Some people have when Kennedy got shot. Some people have 9/11. I actually have 9/11 too. I have a 9/11 memory. It's not a fun one, but with Benoit, I was still working at Cindy's place of employment, different store obviously because she's in North Carolina, I'm in SoCal. And I came off my register. And I turn my phone on because I leave it off because you have to be a good little boy when you're on the register on the phone. So, and my phone just blows up with texts from, of all people, my Rocky Horror cast leader, who I knew was a wrestling fan, but I didn't like. We never the paths shall meet, right? Yeah. So, dude, what happened with Chris Benoit? I'm like, I don't know what happened with Chris Benoit. And then before I could even hit send, Aaron texted me the big long headline, Chris Stancy and Danielle Benoit dead. I went, what? I literally out loud went, what the? And my lead was like, are you okay? I'm like, nope. Went upstairs to the break room, turned on the news, and it's like every news channel. Like right away, I was like, oh boy. Oh, yeah. And of course, the first day, we don't know what's happening. We're getting what we think is the right answer. We don't have the right answer, and we don't really find out until the next night on ECW. But as far as the wrestling fans don't really find out for sure. Yeah. But it's like I just vivid. Like I can tell you what point of the walkway between my register and the upstairs, the stairs to the break room, I was in the store. That's how vivid that day, and it sucks. Like I hate that I remember that so deeply. It bugs the shit out of me that it does, but there you go.
Yeah, it's crazy how long it's and they did what Dark Side of the Ring not too long ago about it. So
right, yeah. I found that one more cathartic, whatever that word is.
Cathartic,
cathartic than the other ones because like Owens was good, I think, for a lot of us because a lot of us have ragged on the Martha and the kids for no, you gotta let Owen in. No, we don't. That's their decision. Yeah. And hearing Owen's son say that, I was like, okay, you're good. Yeah. But Benoit, having Nancy's sister and Chris's older son have that together, it was like, oh, jeez. Yeah. So that was good. Let's see. Chris C is having a conversation about something Dad's on wrestling, so I'm trying to back up and see where I went here. Okay. Chris, if you were watching me just before I did Dads for the first time, that was back when I was still working with Aaron, being nice with each other, back in 2010, 2011, before the big summer 2011 falling out. Yeah, that was a long time ago. That was 10 years ago. You remember my career, if you want to call it a career, as far as talk wrestling, and beyond, really coincides with my son's existence, because the day the show went alive for the first time, July 16th, my son was conceived exactly 2 weeks later.
Holy crap. Wow.
So they are forever intertwined.
Yeah.
Forever. Like, talk wrestling and my son are the same time of my life. And I just, it messed with my head quite a bit, as a matter of fact. So, there you go. Joey, a diehard No DQ fan and a SoCal sports fan, says he's watched me since 2011. So I appreciate that, Joey. If you watched me for 2011 post summer, I love you even more, because I like the stuff I did with the Casa, but it was not my greatest work. I did a lot of great things with JJ and Mikey and Aaron and the girls, but I'm forever indebted to them for allowing me to have the outlet when Aaron and I had our little lovers quarrel, for lack of a better term. Let's see what we got here. Does anybody remember J-Dub and PWR Empire? No, I don't. No. I have no idea what you're talking about. The weather, Colin, I don't know where it is in England, but in Southern California, it got up to 111 degrees over the weekend. And my dad and I were like, are we in Vegas? Like, what the fuck is going on? It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible.
I was listening to the radio on the way to work this morning, like at 5:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. And like the guy was saying, you know, our weather here in Pennsylvania was supposed to get up to like high 88 with like not too much humidity. I was like, all right. And then he's like, yeah, in Las Vegas, it's like supposed to be 114 degrees today. I was like, yeah, thank God I'm not there.
Yeah. What's so funny is Bailey is actually they're on a little bit of a road trip. Okay. Into like Imperial, California, which is like if you go like 2 feet farther, you're in Mexico. That's how far down the border she is. Wow. But I was thinking about going to see her. It's like it's farther to go there than it is when she's home. Yeah. And either way, it's 111 degrees. I ain't going outside. If I go outside, my ginger ass will melt. So I'm good. Aaron says, thank you for tuning in. Well, that's not the one I meant to click. That one. Anyway, Aaron says, thank you for tuning in. Aaron, we appreciate you being there. Come on in if you dare. You know, it's scary. But anyway. I need to close some of these windows. There's too much shit open. I'm all navigated, all messed up. There we go. Okay, there we go. So Joey is saying he remembers when he was a fan of ours in 2011, and I disappeared, and Aaron came on. He was like, "Who the f is this?" Because I guess he'd never seen the what do you call it? The early XMVs where Aaron got beat up on camera, so you never really got to see Aaron on camera. So it was definitely a new thing for sure. Yeah. Aaron's got to eat dinner. Well, fine. Got to eat, I guess. Yeah. I mean, it is 6:15, so I get that. Yeah. So Cleaver says it's dry. It's dry heat though. I've been out here and it was 120 in the desert and it felt like 85 with high humidity. Ugh.
Yeah. Jesus. No thank you.
God, seriously, that's the worst part. It's like I don't care if it's hot. Like I don't give a shit. But when it's humid, it's nasty. It's like if I want to go have humidity, I'll move to Florida on purpose. Like seriously. I don't know who this No DQ Soja is. I've never seen him in the chat room before on any of the No DQ things. So I'm going to put him on a little timeout and see if he behaves himself going forward. Okay. Whatever. Right. I don't care. So Adrian is having humidity across the pond. So God bless you, Jesus. Kevin Smith says earlier memory when Jeff got his cake smashed in his face for his birthday in a park. It was by my former co-host. I forget which year. That would have been my 2006 birthday. And the only reason I say 2006 is because we were No, it may have been 05. It's either 05 or 06. Okay, my birthday, and it was my birthday 2005 because we were up in Ventura County, and for a Roo show, the band I was doing merchandise for, and we were out on the waterfront there, over by the ocean. By the ocean, yeah. And yes, I had cake by the ocean. Throw your joke in there where you will. My co-host Aaron and my co-host presented me a cake and right in the face. And I literally used one of those little seaside shower things and rinsed myself off. And I don't know how this happened, but the cake frosting that went on my shirt formed a smiley face.
Oh, wow.
It was the weirdest phenomenon I have ever seen in my days of doing wrestling podcasts. It was like, how did the physics of this even take place? Thank God I was a merchandise salesman for a band, had a shirt in the car.
There you go.
There you go.
Uh-oh.
What happened?
You froze for a minute, for a second.
Just so everybody knows, we are on medium signal here in California. Edison is telling us to not use power. So it's going to be a fun week of SummerSlam week if I have to go low power. It's going to be a bitch to broadcast, but we'll give it a shot. Anyway. So I like your question, Great Tribulation, but it's not really a wrestling question, but I will say it's more over than the product we have now because there's more of an audience for that for Fortnite than there is for wrestling. It's my kid plays Fortnite every day, and I know he has kids that play with him every single day. My best friend plays Fortnite. She's on there all the time with her son. So it's definitely a broader audience than professional wrestling, especially in 2020. Now, if you asked me that question 20 years ago, I may have a different answer for it. So, because video games were all the rage even back then, but wrestling was the shit back then. So, there you go.
It was. Yes, it was.
Move to Ohio. Colin says we can hang out. I don't want to move to Ohio. Like the sports teams make my head hurt. I don't want to go. Like it's bad enough I'm a Kings fan. Like you really want to move to Ohio? That's even worse. Jesus. Here we go. I'm gonna get major shit for that. That's okay. All right. So somebody asked me about the Thunder. Here we go. Michael, he brought it back up. Thank you. Thoughts on the Thunderdome, or whatever they are calling it?
Thunderdome.
Don't even know what to think. Like, part of me wants to register just to see if I'll actually make the chat. Like, I'll make the screens, right?
Yeah.
Again, it's just crazy. So, wrestling fan, you can join the chat. I don't know how to do that though. Let me see if I can. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Where's my little? There it is. Can I? I don't want to put you on timeout. That's a bad idea. I knew what you meant, wrestling fan. I'm trying to remember how to bring you in. I can't remember how to do that without. I don't put the thing up there. I don't want people coming in. Stand by, wrestling fan. I will figure out a way. If you can find a way to private message me either on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, wrestling fan, do so, and I will send you the invite. There you go. See, I don't mind the Blue Jackets so much, Aaron. It's just a matter of the Cleveland, the Ohio. But although to be fair, my dad was born in Cincinnati. So I can very easily be a Reds fan. It's just the Reds are just so bad. They're just they're terrible, and they've been terrible since Pete left. Honestly, I'm not saying it's because of Pete they're bad. I'm just the timing coincides. They've been terrible since the end of the Big Red Machine era. So I wouldn't want to be having to rely on them for baseball greatness, at least at this point in their destiny. Yeah. Dwayne Atkinson's here. Good afternoon, Dwayne. Mark Brandon says Fortnite is probably more over than Jim Cornette's opinions of AEW. This is an accurate statement. And I'm trying so hard to not pick on Jim Cornette this week, but it's probably not going to happen because whatever. Wonder if they'll get Mad Max to make an appearance at Thunderdome. They should get Mel Gibson. They should totally get Mel Gibson to be in the Thunderdome. I endorse that. I endorse that wholeheartedly. Absolutely. The Cool Brothers Radio Podcast lives in Ohio. We'll see. Everybody lives in Ohio, and you know what? If you live in Ohio and you love Ohio, then you do you, boo. I'm not a fan. And put it this way: my enduring memory of my own life in Ohio is flying back to see Greg and his wife back in 2013. Yes, I went to Pennsylvania in January because I'm an idiot and don't have a meteorologist for a friend.
Yeah.
So we're flying, and I have a layover in Cleveland. I'm flying to Erie, right? So layover in Cleveland, the plane's going, like, we're landing, and the snow's already starting to fall. I'm like, this is not good. So they ground my plane, and they say, you can get a new flight or whatever. So I call Greg, what do I do here? He goes, what? It's an hour away. We'll come get you. 4 hours in a blizzard later, those poor fools drove up to that airport and picked my happy ass up.
Oh, wow.
I felt, and of course, the snow lets up after that, so it was only an hour to go back.
Yeah.
Because I'm a schmuck. So what really pissed me off was, had I known it was going to be a 4-hour excursion, I could have walked 10 minutes down the road and gone to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The airport's right there.
Damn.
It's like, shit. I was livid. So anyway, Aaron says, hopefully a 2021 meetup in Ohio. I will have to use the big G money to fly to Ohio on 2021 because I'll have to save that whatever pittance YouTube gives after they take all their stuff. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I would love to see it. Speaking of Ohio, do you think Al Snow should be in the Hall of Fame? Yes, I do.
Yeah. I mean, he had a good career in WWE. I mean, he had longevity. And he's done stuff for the wrestling business. I mean, maybe next year, one of the lower to mid card, like, what am I trying to think?
The non-headliners in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
The non-NWO Batistas of the world.
Yeah.
But you know what? Hey, Davey Boy is in that category this year if it ever happens. And I think Davey Boy was a hell of a hand. So I don't put Al Snow in the same class as Davey Boy Smith. I think Davey Boy is. I think if Davey Boy had kept his head on straight, he'd have been a surefire Hall of Famer way before now. So
yeah. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. I was gonna talk about the Thunderdome too, real quick. Yeah,
please, by all means. I need some
so
water.
I'm in your boat. I'm very tempted to register tonight just to see if I'll get somewhere in SmackDown or Takeover or SummerSlam or. I mean, I'm sure they're gonna keep on doing it up until they can start getting some fans back in the arena. But I mean, baseball's doing it. Basketball, I don't know if basketball is doing it. Is hockey doing it with their virtual fans?
They're having like piped in crowd noise, like Goldberg style, which
okay.
Whatever.
Oh my God.
I like I said yesterday, I think it's stupid. But whatever.
But yeah, I was like, when I saw it, I was like, I don't know about this, but I mean, if you don't have to pay anything to register or whatnot, I'm happy.
Oh, okay. Stand by. He messaged me on Messenger, and I have the wrong messenger up in the no, I don't. Oh yeah, I do. Why is he okay? Why is it not showing up on my screen? That's the weirdest damn thing. Okay, no, that's no DQ. I have that one. I am so confused. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. Yes. Oh, you know what? Yeah, let's do this. Okay. I need to breathe for a second here. Is this the right window? Where am I at here? I'm in my own window. So that's a good thing. This is the magic of live television. You never know what's gonna happen next.
Nope.
I'm just waiting for Big G to start talking some more, so I look like a complete goose singing to myself. So carry on.
So I was thinking about SummerSlam this weekend, or not really SummerSlam, but the article that Virtue wrote about Randy Orton. Have you read it yet?
Yeah. I definitely want to talk about that today. Absolutely.
Okay. So yeah, I was reading it, and I always happen to agree with Virtue, but on this subject, I'm 100% behind. Randy Orton has been, I think, one of the entertaining parts of this pandemic. I wrote this on Twitter. I mean, he's doing his job very well. He makes you want to hate him. He makes you want to punch him in his face or whatnot, or have somebody punch him in his face, because we're sure as hell ain't going to go up to him and punch him in his face, because then I don't know what he would do. Anyways.
He pumped me, I already messed up head, I'd be a vegetable. So.
Right. So. But I mean, he's gone back to that legend killer, that he was back in the day. He's punted he's punted Orton. He's punted Edge. He's punted Christian.
I don't want to see Randy Orton punt Randy Orton. That'd be the greatest physics in the history of the wrestling of the WWE universe. I want that. I want it on my team, McMahon. Make it happen, man. Split that shit.
Big Show, Ric Flair last week, and HBK is going to be on there tonight, and I'm sure
he's getting one. It.
He's going to get one big time. And then, I got a feeling Triple H is going to come out after that and try to do something. Because Hunter's backstage.
Well, yeah, because we saw both of them at NXT when McAfee got the hair up his ass. Right?
When he punted Adam Cole, oh my God. I was like, holy crap.
I love that a punch to the gut knocked Adam out. I'm like, damn, they are selling this guy as a kicker. That's pretty good. It's whatever. He's one of those celebrities, and I know it's all make believe, and you're whatever. I really want Pat McAfee to get smacked upside his stupid little face, a big face, I should say, because he's.
Did you happen to watch the video on Twitter when him taking the bumps and stuff like that?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. I was like, oh my God.
Okay, and again, this is going to sound a really revisionist history on my part because wearing the colors I'm wearing and everything. Did we not learn a lesson from Mr. T? T got himself in decent shape and everything.
Yeah.
But Roddy could have very well just killed him, and nobody would have batted an eye because T was a dick, legit dick. Pat comes off as I don't know if I never met Pat McAfee, really don't care, but but he comes off as somebody that, if they're trying to get us to boo him, they're succeeding.
Yeah.
But do you really want to turn the Undisputed Era babyface? We all love them anyway. It's kind of like Austin in the very beginning. We all liked him because we liked Stunning Steve and we liked the evolution of the Stone Cold character. But don't cut the balls off before the train is, before he's had a chance to, get in heat, right?
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels was one of the best heels they had, period, before, right up until WrestleMania 11.
Yeah.
And Vince heard that reaction from that crowd. His people, 10 minutes from his house in Hartford, oh, we got babyface in our hands here, pal. It's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. You don't. And they had Sid jackknife him or powerbomb him, and that was, and it took him 2 years to make people go, okay, I'm the dickhead again. So it was terrible.
But to me, I mean, it doesn't seem like an NXT. I mean, there's heel and faces,
right?
But everybody cheers for everybody in NXT,
right?
I mean, we don't have any fans now, but I'm sure if there were fans, they'd cheer the hell out of Karrion Kross. They would chant, they would sing along to his theme.
NXT is the PWG crowd on steroids.
Gotcha.
And the reason I say that is because Aaron, if Aaron is still watching, which he's probably eating dinner, so he's not because he doesn't want to watch me because I'm too cool to be watched during his dinner hour. We would go to PWG. Every month without fail, we'd throw down the money or whatever, and we'd go. And the dueling chant, that's where I first heard it. And I'd be a royal putz and go, make up your mind, just to be an asshole.
I could see you doing that.
Totally. when I'm egged on by Aaron and everybody else, So that kind of crowd became the in thing to do at indie shows, and then NXT became a thing, and it was the ultimate indie show. So there you go.
Which it pretty much is. Yeah,
it totally is.
Yeah.
Okay, I see you're in there, WrestleMania 98. So bear with me. I'm going to let G say whatever he wanted to say, and then I'm going to bring you in next, sir. So stand by, because I might have more than two people because it becomes.
Oh yeah, no, bad, you're so. Fine. You're fine. I mean, other than that, I'm good to go, man. We got SummerSlam. We're gonna do the predictions tomorrow night with you, and then
there you go.
Thursday NXT. So.
Yeah, I mean, again, both channels will have SummerSlam predictions tomorrow. You can watch on No DQ at 7 Eastern, and you can watch me at 5:30 Eastern. So there you go.
There we go.
It'll be a fun time for all. So thank you, Big G. Again, appreciate the donation yesterday. It is not
a problem.
Not overlooked by any means. So I appreciate it, and we'll catch you tomorrow, sir.
Yes, sir. Take it easy.
Have a good one, brother.
Yep.
All right, we're going to bring in our next guest. He is known by his YouTube screen name as Wrestling Fan 1998. Come on in, sir. How are you?
Hello, how are you? I'm doing good.
Doing all right, man. Just getting ready for that the big go home week. I mentioned on Aaron, actually the simulcast yesterday that I did on Aaron's stream and on my stream, that this is the first go home week I've looked forward to in a very long time. And I don't take any credit away from the edgier products on all three shows as a result of as making me feel that way. I feel, Raw was great with the edgy stuff with Flair and Orton. I think NXT went into that, old school Memphis stuff with the Fireball, and then you had SmackDown with TV 14 across the board. So it was one of those things where your screen name was very much this last week, 1998 wrestling.
Yeah, I was very surprised because I actually didn't watch SmackDown this last Friday. I've been kind of getting bored with the product as of late, unfortunately, even though I'm still a fan, of course. I mean, hence the name, right? But yeah, it's I was astonished to find that the rating was TV 14, and especially for SmackDown, because as far as I know, I was 1 year old when SmackDown debuted on the UPN network back in August of '99 as a weekly show. Of course, there was the one-off in April, but as far as I know, SmackDown has always been TV PG, even throughout the Attitude Era, right? And afterwards,
I have to go back and bet that. We're watching the premiere. We're watching next week on Wrestling Rewind on my channel. We're gonna it'll be on this channel too. Actually, we're gonna watch the premiere of SmackDown. So there you go.
Really? Okay, that's cool. Yeah, because I remember an interview that Vince McMahon did back in 2001 with forget his name, Bob. He was a journalist.
Costas.
Yes, Costas. I've watched that interview a few times. It's very entertaining stuff. And Vince McMahon said in that interview specifically, I believe it was filmed in April of 2001. He said that on SmackDown we always censor the S word, the A word, and stuff like that in the second hour. And that was around the time that the Attitude Era was pretty much coming to a close, but of course the product was still very much so TV 14, adolescent, the 18 to 35 demographic oriented, if that makes any sense, Anyway, that was a huge surprise. But I must say, last week I did watch the closing segment on Raw, and I loved it. I thought it was great how Randy Orton turned on Ric Flair. Ric Flair, for me, honestly, I didn't grow up watching Ric Flair throughout his prime.
Right.
But yeah, because I'm very, very young. And Ric Flair, just his delivery, his emotion, you can't help but to just be invested and sometimes get even choked up by his reactions and his facial expressions and what he says. I mean, he's just so good. And when he said that, I forgot exactly what he said in the promo. Forgive me. I'm so sorry. But
basically, Randy, accused him of, latching on and, just, trying to steal the spotlight and, trying to hang around and be relevant. And Rick, basically said, you know what? You're right. I am.
Yeah. And
because
his delivery
5 years ago. Yes. So it's.
Exactly. Yeah. And when he was, he started choking up, and it was really emotional. I mean, I didn't weep or anything, but I mean, I definitely felt the emotion. It didn't feel, contrived, as we say in the wrestling business, forced. And Randy's delivery too was really well done. I always thought in the back of my mind that Randy had, the speaking abilities, because let's be honest, Randy beforehand, like especially 5 to 6 years ago, he wasn't really known, even by fans of his, as like a great talker. Am I wrong? Like he was never, that of a Chris Jericho or even an Edge or a Rock or Steve Austin on the mic.
No, but Randy has been allowed to develop his character in the last 18 years, and I think he's done very well with how he's progressed. Let me ask you this, because you would have been 10 then when Rick retired, and that makes me feel old as well. I was at WrestleMania and the Hall of Fame when he stepped away. And I can't get through that weekend of shows to this day. I can't do the Hall of Fame. I can't do Mania, and I definitely can't do Raw. I'm a mess. So watching Monday night last week, I did get choked up. Because it's funny. Before you came on, I mentioned the last time I did a Q&A form of Talk Wrestling on the No DQ side of things was right after Bobby Heenan had passed away, and I remember how choked up I was when Bobby passed, because Bobby was such a good friend of the channel and such a good friend to all of us in No DQ, and it was very hard to see him. Not just like okay, boom, he got sick, he's gone. He took a long time to pass, and it was very, very hard for us old school fans and people that had gotten to know Bobby and his wife and everything to see him gradually slip. It was terrible. So I wear my heart on my sleeve. I always have, more so since my concussions, more so since I became a father. So little things like what happened Monday night get to me. I went immediately on Twitter and said, I know it's all make-believe and whatever, but I really want to see Drew Galloway beat the shit out of Randy Orton now because of what Randy Orton did to Richard Fleer. I was so just, and I sit back, I go, that's exactly what he wanted me to do. That's exactly what Vince wanted me to do. That son of a bitch got me again.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I'm sorry, you were going to ask me a question, right, related to 2008, to Ric Flair's retirement, or?
I guess I was just going to say that you mentioned you didn't get choked up. I don't know if you coming into the world when you did. I mean, yeah, remember what month of September? What month of '98 were you born in?
January. First month.
Okay, so you would have been 9 months old when Rick returned to WCW after the big standoff with Eric Bischoff. So you wouldn't. I mean, I'm sure you've been able to go back on the network if you wanted to. That's fine. But living in the moment, like we Attitude Era folk did, us old fogies did, seeing Rick come down off of Space Mountain after he got the second ring and after he was with Charlotte, and then the appearances became less and less, and the health was starting to deteriorate, and then he got really sick and almost died. So every time we see Ric Flair, we wonder if it's going to be the last time we see Ric Flair. So Monday night was very hard for me on a number of levels. So I was just wondering if you, being 22 years old, can really get knee deep in that, if it makes any sense.
Yes, I can. Just because I didn't live throughout many of the moments, many of the emotional moments of Ric Flair's career, or anybody else's career for that matter,
right.
And even my age, being as young as I am, I guess, doesn't mean that I can't, experience, feel, or deeply understand where these characters are coming from and what they're trying to present on television. And I was not at WrestleMania 24 like yourself on March 30th, 2008, but I did watch it from my house. I was 10 years old and I watched it from my house alongside my cousin.
Nice.
And I do remember the match very vividly. I remember that whole night, actually, and I thought it was a great pay-per-view. But that match specifically, that was a very emotional match, and I did feel the emotions of it, the roller coaster of a ride that it was, and I was wanting so bad for Ric Flair, to defeat Shawn Michaels and to overcome, the obstacles that were stacked in front of him, the hurdles that were stacked in front of him. And when he lost, when he was defeated, when his shoulders were pinned to the mat and he arose.
Do me a favor and stop spitting. You're making me dizzy.
I'm sorry. I honestly thought you were going to say that. I'm sorry.
Breathe. Deep breath. Speak slowly, and you're good, brother. You're not talking to anybody but me and 25 people. You're good, brother. You're good.
Yeah. And I did get very emotional. I mean, I didn't cry, but I felt really, really bad that he had to retire. Now, looking back, many years later, I have cried about that because it's a very sad moment. Even if it was scripted, of course, as it was still a very heartfelt moment, And looking back at Ric Flair's career and all the promos that he's cut, and all the great matches that he's had, the great storylines that he's had. I'm a huge fan of his. Huge fan of Ric Flair's. I think that honestly, and I believe in my heart of hearts as a wrestling fan, no pun intended, that he truly is the greatest talker in the history of the business. I do believe that he is better than Rock in his own way. Not that The Rock, The Rock is definitely a contender for that spot, but I still believe that Ric Flair deserves that title, of being the greatest talker in the history of the wrestling business, and all the promotions that he's ever been a part of, whether it be, the NWA, you know better than me when it comes to the organizations that he's participated in, but I'm just saying, based on my general knowledge, the NWA, WCW, the WWF in the early 90s, right? And then back to WCW again, and then the WWF and WWE in the early to late 2010s. So yeah, it was a very sad moment, but Randy Orton's delivery as well was just awesome. And I wanted to imply earlier that Randy Orton is honestly, he may very well be the best talker in the company right now. I mean, his promos never feel. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, one of our main panelists, Virtue, wrote a whole column on Randy. I highly encourage you to read it. It's a great column. It's very well written, as Virtue's Rage.
Yes.
It's an amazing column. Virtue, he's such a great mind. People shit on him for being a troll killer or whatever. I think he's great.
And nobody's perfect.
Well, it's yeah. But yeah, I think the other thing with Flair, the thing that really gets to me is that I mentioned this earlier. Yes. My wrestling, my talk wrestling life, if you will, the life that began with Talk Wrestling #1, coincides with my son's conception. I left Orlando Tuesday morning after WrestleMania. My son was born that Friday, so Rick's retired, leaving the life he knew, exiting the life he knew, and my own son's life coming into being. It's a weird relationship parallel, I guess. So I totally get all in my head about it. I'm going to let you go after I have you answer this question by Michael Gonzalez. Shawn Michaels or Ric Flair? Who's better?
I mean, as an overall showman, as an overall wrestler, or in a specific category of field? Michael Gonzalez.
All it says is Shawn Michaels or Ric Flair. Who's better? That's the question.
For me, honestly, Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels. Okay. Sorry, right. Shawn Michaels. Love Ric Flair, but overall, I just gravitate more. I love Shawn Michaels. I'm more fond of him than I am of Ric Flair. But as a talker, Ric Flair. Ric Flair. Right. It's a very broad question.
It is, and it's funny. I'm on my 30-day wrestling challenge on my work platforms, and when favorite wrestler came up, I put in all time and current. Current, I put Randy Orton. All time, I put Shawn Michaels. So
yeah. Oh, can I also say one more thing? I wanted to say it earlier about the segment last week, the closing segment. Okay. I felt Drew McIntyre's interference, or I guess him coming out, if you will, to spare Ric Flair. I thought it was that part I didn't like, because I thought that was so expected of a babyface to do. And I understand that now he's being pushed, as the face on Raw. He is the WWE champion. But right. I mean, he literally went 2 years ago or a year ago from, destroying whoever was in his sight to now supposedly being the sympathetic, caring, and ever so thoughtful world champion. That's been seen so many times. And I understand where, the writers are coming from and having, sent him out. But I just thought that the way it was done, that part felt very heavily scripted and kind of forced, if you will.
Right.
I didn't like that part, to be honest with you. I rather would have had Drew taken a mic, even if Raw had won off the air. I would have rather had Drew at least explain himself, like, "Hey, this is an old guy. This is a legend. You know, this guy mentored you. He helped you. He shaped you into the wrestler that you are today. If it hadn't been for him, you probably would be nowhere. You know, I rather would have had him justify him coming out there and trying to interfere in, you know, the burden between Ric Flair and Randy Orton, if you will, that problem, that beef, I guess, that kind of just came out of nowhere, even though it was expected. And for him to just come out there and say, "I'm gonna get you, Randy. You know, I'm gonna hurt you for this." It's like, it's very vague. You know, explain yourself. You know, be more realistic as a human being. You know, you have to explain, why do you care about Ric Flair getting injured? You know, you went last year from, you know, kicking Roman Reigns' ass and you know, whoever else, you know, just for the sake of being an a-hole. And now, you know, you're coming to the rescue of an old guy that 2 years ago you probably wouldn't have cared about, kayfabe wise. So I rather would have had him, you know, taking a mic, even if, you know, Raw had gone off the air and had said to Randy, you know, "Hey man, this is wrong of you. Even I wouldn't do this back, you know, 2 years ago or so. This is very wrongful of you, very unethical of you, very immoral of you, and this is probably the worst thing you've ever done, to hurt and go after, to scathe a 72 or 71-year-old man. How dare you use you know, you SOB." And then to take that heat and to really, you know, fuel the storyline. That would have been great. But for him to just come out there and just kind of, you know, stare Randy down. Randy did great. Randy didn't have to say anything. Randy is an evil, you know, mother effer, and he doesn't have to say anything. But Drew should have explained himself. He should be a little bit more complex as a babyface character, if that makes any sense. You know, he's way too simplistic, in my opinion. I don't get me wrong. I do love his world championship reign and his push. I think it's great. I am a fan of his. Not a huge fan, but I definitely think he deserves it. But he needs to kind of speak more from the heart, you know, and to kind of include a lot of the things that he would say in situations like this if they were real, as opposed to doing the whole WWE, you know, gig, the thing that Vince McMahon wants him to do, and just stare him down. You know, there needs to be a little bit more talking, a little bit more complexity, you know, a little bit more what's the right word? You know, a little bit more detail, I guess, if that makes any sense, you know, to the segments, to the promos that wrestlers are cutting. And that's why I wanted to say that Randy has been doing a great job, because his promos do not feel forced right now. Neither did Edge's before he got injured, you know. And yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to. I
appreciate it. There you go. That's not a problem. I have somebody in the green. I have somebody in the weight room now, so I'm like, "Oh shit, I gotta go." So, thank you, sir. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much.
We'll have you on again down the line. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. All right. Before I get to the next person in line, I do see your question, Anonymous 101, I guess, but you don't need to ask it 4 or 5 times. And honestly, super chat it. Make your enemy a little money. There you go. Because I have somebody that'll talk to me for free because he's just that cool and he's got a better beard than I could ever dream of. Cleaver Colin Andrew is on the show. What's up, brother?
What's happening, man? How are you?
I am doing well. I know you are still in the shop working during this craziness and out in the public, if you will. So God bless you, first of all. Crazy times.
Yeah, man. Like, so ever since, you know, the whole pandemic thing started, I felt fine. But yesterday I woke up not feeling the greatest, and today I feel like a pile of Dookie. We'll take it from Green Day. So hitting Grandpa's cough medicine real quick.
Oh, and, man. God, yeah, seriously. I mean, I took a picture of my setup here. Friend of mine sent me this while I was in quarantine, a whole package of these things, man. These things are a godsend. She sent me that, and she sent me this beautiful Cinderella hot mug. And my sister had spiced cider just happened to me in the house. I'm like, oh, thank you, God. So spiced apple cider and these Ricolos, man. Like, I wasn't even sick, and I felt sick. That's how obnoxious this shit was. So, like, I was just trying to get anything in me to get it out of me. It was crazy.
I don't know if you know what a hot toddy is, but
oh yeah, I heard.
I had one of those or one or two of those yesterday to get me through the last like 2-3 hours at work.
Hell yeah, dude. Seriously, a hot toddy is grossly underrated. I'll tell you that right now, man. Those things are a godsend. If you're feeling like you got hit by a truck sick, that's the way to go.
Yep. I'm just hoping it's sinuses because it's all like pressure here, sore throat, and my ears are just all plugged up. So.
I have a very bad sinus area. I got sinusitis every year of my adult life for a number of years, along with the streptococci, which happened every single year of my adult life to this day around spring break. And the one time it didn't, of course, I had just gotten the job at a restaurant, and I got acute bacterial tonsillitis, which if you have that shit in your throat, they don't want you around food. No. So they were like, you need to stay home. And the doctor said you need to tell your working. Oh, there you go. There you go. Now you're into the shit with the ginger ale. Atta boy. There you go. The doctor said you have to tell your workers staying home. I'm like, I can't. And then I showed up to work. And they go, well, did you think you can? I'm like, no, I don't think I can. I can barely breathe right now. If you want me to cough on your customers and their food and get the whole town sick, by all means, I'll do it. Because I don't give a shit about anybody else in this town except my family, so whatever. Right. And now, of course, that don't age well 2 years later, saying stuff like that.
Not at all.
So, but it's one of those things where the highlight of that entire run with that restaurant was the fact that I spent one of my work days meeting Caitlin for the first time, because that's when she was in town with Aaron. So the four of us, Dylan and the two of us, and I went to we went to Fantasia, and they were closed because of the rain. We went to a great lunch. We went to this like giant playground place, and we had a blast. And I'm like, I gotta work. So
yeah, I've done restaurant business for, I think this is my 17th or 18th year. So.
God bless you, man. I've had sisters. I've had aunts. I've had everybody I know at some point, as far as like have done some sort of restaurant food service work, and that's a patience I don't know.
Yeah, if you want to hate your life for like 10 to 16 hours a day, go work in a restaurant. That's all.
Agreed. Yep. Especially back in the dishwashing area where, when you have sensitive, non-callous hands like I do, trying to use the hot water and things, it's terrible. I legitimately bought special gloves just so I could have my hands in the water long enough to get them clean. And, I'm not going to name the restaurant because I don't want to have a libel suit against me, but I learned way too much about the lack of care dirty dishes get. I was like, oh my God, these are going back out there, like for real. It was very scary.
Yeah, I have a different set of codes in my kitchen.
I am so glad.
I run a kitchen, so
right.
But yeah. Anyways, let's talk some wrestling.
I agree. We're talking so much about work. What do you think of this Thunderdome thing? I am intently curious how they're going to pull this off, and if they're going to charge for it, and what's the deal going to be exactly?
See, I don't know. I mean, if they do charge for it? What do you see? Like, what do you think a fair price is? How
much do you think it is worth to have yourself digitized and put out there for posterity? Like, how do you rationalize any of that shit? Like, how does that make any sense?
And that and the fact of, all right, is this going to be live, like a live feed, or all right, so you're going to watch me, chilling on my couch or whatever for 30 seconds, and then it gets processed by somebody to edit it, because what makes you think someone just couldn't pull out a huge bong and start ripping right there in the crowd.
Right.
Or, someone flashes their stuff, or, this, that, and the other, So that's one thing I'm curious to see, because if it's not a live reaction, it's gonna feel awkward to me.
That seems like, if you're gonna have live people. Like, if you're not, then why bother?
I mean, if you had to pay for it though, I mean, seriously, like at this point, just $5.99, whatever,
Right.
Like if I get the whole damn network for $9.99, I'm not paying more than that to get thrown up on a screen while I'm sitting in my house on a Zoom call. You know what I mean?
I have zero issue with watching the show from home and not being there. Although I did say before you came on, I was kind of mother effing myself saying that this is going to be the first calendar year that Aaron and I aren't in a wrestling venue together. It was like, whoa.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that.
18 years.
My buddy David, you might know the name David Whitfield from Facebook and stuff. But we were talking the other night when he came over for my birthday last week, and he's like, crazy enough, we can say that we have been to a concert together this year. Like, how many people can say they went to a concert this year?
I did not get to go to one. Yeah,
I mean? Like with a legit crowd, no restrictions, no bullshit, yada yada yada.
Right.
Like, we went to the House of Blues in Cleveland and saw this old school punk band called the Addicts, and it was a great time. And they were free tickets, so even better.
There you
go. But yeah, that's crazy though. I mean, thanks Dwayne, thanks Mark. I see your comments popping up there, but no, I don't know how it's going to play out, and I think it'd be hilarious as hell though, because I don't know if you saw my comment earlier. The Colorado Rockies placed a cardboard cutout of Randy Marsh from South Park in their crowd at their stadium. There's a picture floating around. But
please tell me it was the picture of him post computer use.
No, it was just his normal get up, just plain face, just his normal avatar, I guess you could say.
That's an epic fail.
I know. I wish it would have been the This Is America.
There you go.
Marsh. Like that's the ones that happened in a baseball stadium on the show. But anyways, I think originally with the PC, like if it's a stupid idea, let me know. I don't really care, But originally, because my fiance works for Progressive, and then there's Flow and there's cardboard cutouts. I was like, what they need to do is just fill those seats with cardboard cutouts, make it look like the illusion that someone is there.
Right.
And then you could have those couple people in the front or whatever making the actual noise, but you can make it look like a big arena. And it was just something, and I'm so glad that they're getting out of the PC.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember what the arena is called, like the Amherst Arena or
Amway Arena. It's the Amway Center, I believe.
Amway Center. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Amherst. That's a city here in Ohio. I don't know what I'm thinking, but no, like I'm really intrigued to see this because look, like I posted a video this morning over on my YouTube channel, the Cleaver Calling Andrew, Cheap Pop. And I was saying, like, if there can be some pyro, if there can just be some type of anything different than that, like 12-foot aisleway and just everything's so enclosed. Like, we thought Full Sail was enclosed for NXT. This PC is like, damn, So you thinking, those real small Post-it notes. That's the PC. That's
exactly.
The PC,
right. Exactly.
It's like, and now you can get a nice arena. It doesn't have to be too big. Like here in Cleveland, there's the Wolstein Center by Cleveland State University.
Right.
And we nice scroll. Love it.
We were talking Ohio for the better part of the first hour, so hell, why not? There you go.
But AEW ran there, I think, in October, November.
That sounds right.
I want to say, but the arena will hold, I believe, like 9,000 people.
Yeah,
and it is. I've seen plenty of concerts there over the years and stuff, and compared to the Q, it's a lot smaller, but it's a perfect venue for something like that because it's just big enough to feel big time-ish. And, so I'm really excited to see what they have for us, I guess, starting Friday. because SmackDown, they said they're not going to be at the PC next week.
Right.
Obviously because they're going to have to be there. I mean, they still could have SmackDown at the PC in retrospect because they're both in Orlando, am I right? Or is the one in Tampa?
PC is in Orlando, but I think they want to have it be on SmackDown because it's the big premiere. It's on Fox and it's prime time. It's something.
Yeah, I guess, but I'm just glad that the NXT guys are going to get an area to shine again. I'm really looking forward to TakeOver 30.
Although Michael puts up a very good point, NXT, as far as the weekly show, is still going to be at the PC.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But I'm saying at least for TakeOver,
right.
At least for TakeOver, they can have a bigger venue to work with because those dudes and gals deserve it.
Like a TakeOver crowd.
Yeah, basically, and. This is, we've seen one takeover since the pandemic has hit. It was Takeover in Your House. I thought it was very well done set wise and stuff.
Right.
But it didn't feel, it felt more like an episode of NXT, like a holiday edition of NXT for me because of the area.
Especially supersized NXT.
But I really wish they could have figured this out for WrestleMania because.
Yes.
Because I was at work the other day, and my buddy Matt, he watches wrestling here and there, but his uncle was a huge wrestling fan, and the only reason he keeps up with it anymore is because I talk about it. I play podcasts on the Bluetooth. From our stuff here at NoDQ to old Aftermath stuff to Busted Open to whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so he knows a little bit, but he always messes up the big four pay-per-views. And he's like, WrestleMania happened this already. I was like, yeah, it did. And I don't remember shit about it because it was that forgettable.
Right.
Because that was the first pay-per-view since they had to cancel everything. And I know they were holding by the balls to keep that going in the bigger arena, but I wish they could have figured something out like that for Mania. So Mania didn't feel like a 2-night house show.
Right. It's again, we're being encouraged to, accept this new norm. It's like, no, people just need to stay your asses home and make this not be the norm no more. I selfishly, I admit it, I don't care. I was livid at the fact that this is the third year that external forces are forcing me to miss a Jason Aldean concert. Because we had the Vegas shooting where he canceled his shows.
Oh, true story. Yeah.
We had last year's show. My dad and I we drove all the way to Irvine, and it was sold out. And the scalpers were not out because they were scared because it was too secure. And then the cheapest ticket was we could have got a family of four into a Super Bowl game for cheaper, pretty much. And then this year, of course, the damn COVID. So my dad has promised me, unless there's a biblical apocalypse, we're going to see Jason Aldean as soon as the world opens up. I said, okay.
Yeah. I went and picked my son up from a friend's house this afternoon, and I was driving home, and he, we're making small chat, and he's like, I really hope that this stuff isn't around next year at this time, or next year, or he's like, I just want stuff to go back to normal. Like for him to be, he's going to be 15 next month, and for him to be like, I just want to go back to school.
Seriously.
He's like, because here the way they're doing it, starting September 1st for the first 8 weeks, he'll go Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday all online.
Oh, jeez.
And then for the first half of the alphabet, and then the second half of the alphabet goes Thursday, Friday, but Wednesday is all online, and it's just it's so crazy. And yeah.
Again, tell your son that it could be a lot more strange. Dylan,
I do.
Dylan is 5 days a week in his room the first half of the day at school. He has periods 1 through 3 on Monday and Thursday. Periods 4 through 6 on Tuesday and Friday. Wednesday, it's all of them cut in half the same time of day, like the same, like 8 to 12 or whatever.
That's the same thing they're going to be doing here.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Right.
But 2 of those days they will be at the actual school.
Which, you know what, if you guys if Ohio has their collective shit together enough to do that, I'm all about it, because the kids need that normalcy. We as adults, like, we're in theory, wink wink, we should be able to cope with it better. The kids kids have to deal with this shit. It's terrible. So
they can only play so many video games. They can only like, my son's a gamer all day long. He works with me down in my restaurant, busting tables on the weekends, and he's saving up to build his own gaming PC. He's like $150 short right now. And and he loves it, and he's like, I'm bored with it. He's like, that's all there is to do, because no one will let him, no one's allowed to hang out, or this or this, and this. It's, and it sucks, because I remember being his age and having the time of my life.
Yep, I remember, the fact that Dylan finally found something as far as, he didn't want to play flag football, but he wanted to play football. So he said, you want to play football, you got to play flag, because we're not letting you tackle, because daddy knows concussions. Not pretty. So, no. And he was all gung-ho, and then his second season got canceled. I was like, oh. So, and we lost our Kings, and we lost, we as wrestling fans kind of, like, compartmentalize and we lost wrestling. Like, no, we are the only ones that actually got anything back right away. Like, we stutter step, but we didn't stop work wrestling wise. Like, everybody else was done for a while. We're playing Stanley Cup hockey in frickin' August. Like, that's weird. So anyway, we're kind of going off into the weeds here, but
that's what we do. That's what friends do.
That's what we do on No DQ and the Championship Network. That's right. So, what are you most looking forward to happening tonight in about 52 minutes, actually?
Oh, God. I really want to know what's going to happen with Dominic Mysterio and the Buddy Murphy Seth Rollins deal after that ass whipping last week with those damn Singapore Canes. Because, poor kid. Oh, damn. But that, and what kind of mood is Asuka going to be in?
Was that not hard for you, being a father, to watch Dominic get that? I was hurting on many levels.
Dude, I was yelling for Joe to get his fat ass off that chair and do something. Fuck the authority, just fuck it. Like, how long have you been hurt, Joe? Like, can you not, like seriously, how long have you been hurt? You
can't tell me your hurt can't enable you to tackle Seth Rollins' stupid ass and make that stop. That kid got this shit canned out of him. It was terrible.
Absolutely disgusting.
It was. And
whoever signed off on that, fuck you.
And
sorry, Aaron.
Sorry, But honestly, we went into great detail on this on the No DQ debate last week. It's completely unnecessary. Like, I get that some old school asshats feel that kids got to pay his dues. That's not dues. That's bullshit. Like, that's like Hogan whipping David Flair in '99 shit. That's terrible.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
To answer the question in the chat room, Aaron is eating dinner and getting ready to go on Monday Night Raw watch because
he's saving his voice.
Because he's saving his voice like a good host should. So it'll be cool. So we're doing this till I get tired of talking, and then you guys can go watch USA for 3 hours. God bless you if you do, because it's hard. And then you can watch Aaron for an hour or however long he talks about Raw. So we're all inclusive in the wrestling family, kids. So
very true, very true.
There you go. So, all right. Well, I'm going to let you get back to do your thing. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you taking time. I know you've got many irons in the fire, and you're growing that killer beard, so that takes up time for sure. So you got to keep that thing pretty and and trim. So God bless it.
Yeah, I actually gotta make an appointment to get a haircut and a trim. My buddy's wife's been doing it for years, like over a decade. So
nice.
I got to link up with her. But yeah, man, thanks for having me on.
I appreciate it.
NoDQ.com/Colin will take you to my Twitter page, the Cleaver Colin Andrew on YouTube. And coming this Friday, NXT TakeOver 30 predictions with Noah Foster and Jerry Slaughter. I'm not 100% sure on what channel we're doing this on due to some stuff that has gone down, but we will figure that out, and if it's live, it's live. If it's taped, it's taped. But again, support us as always because the NXT team's the NXT team, and we're gonna keep that shit going. So
whatever the name of the group becomes, they are always welcome on the Championship Network. For the record, so. You guys have a place on my channel any day of the week, twice on Sunday, except the other few days because those are busy.
And that is greatly appreciated, my friend. And, you're always in that group too. Whatever we figure out, you are always welcome. That never has changed. I guess the leadership has changed. I don't know.
It is. So, you know what? I say it all the time, and I bought the shirt in quarantine. It is what it is.
So there you go, folks.
We'll see you. We'll see you as the week progresses.
All right, sir. Take it easy, and take it easy, no DQ.
Bye. All right. There's the Cleaver Colin Andrew. My goodness. It's been fun. I usually just do talk wrestling by myself and just wait for questions, but nobody's super chatting the questions. That's the whole point. That's why I'm on no DQ side to get that green going, and I don't mean the green, the stinky green, because I don't do that. I do have the tincture though. No, don't keep Adrian awake. He needs to rest up for our debate whenever it happens. And you gotta remember, he's 8 hours ahead of me, so it's gonna be a pain in the ass to pull off. So we are working on it though, No DQ Galaxy. We are working on getting the debate set up, and hopefully once this, because I was doing my scheduling I've been up all day. I woke up early and couldn't go back to sleep. I said screw it, whatever. I'll just deal with it. I am going to be on a live stream, or at least a taped stream, every day starting yesterday and going through 2 more Sundays. So 3 Sundays in a row, and then I think the Monday after that, so whatever, the Monday after All Out will be the last day I have something definitively scheduled in a row. So I'm going to be greatly busy, and I love that. I was talking, I full disclosure, I see a therapist every 2 weeks. And I was talking to her about keeping busy is what's keeping me sane during this quarantine. And as busy as I've been the last week or 2 since I've been home, and the coming 2.5 weeks that I'm going to be busy, I'm grateful, eternally grateful. Dwayne Atkinson with $4 super chat. Thank you, Dwayne. We appreciate that. NoDQ.com and the Championship Network. Should Brian Pillman be in the Hall of Fame? We were talking about Brian Ohio earlier, so definitely a good thing to bring up Brian Pillman. Yes, I do believe he should be in the Hall of Fame. The only reason I think he is not is because, and I don't know this, this is my assumption based on things I've seen and comments I've had with other people. The reason Brian is not in the Hall of Fame is because Melanie, his widow, has taken the Martha Hart stance. So there you go. Should he be? Without question. Will he be? Is the question, right? Little play on words there. So yeah. I appreciate that, Zamazu. Yeah, I have needed so much to get myself clean and get myself better. I can't recommend this. Let's see if I can. There we go. Maybe you can see the word there. Essentia water. It's Essentia overachieving H2O. I throw a little crystal light in there to give it some flavor because it tastes like electrolytes. It tastes like shit. So not like it tastes fine. It's water. It's just electrolyte enhanced water. So it's not bad tasting. It's just not my cup of tea. So I put a little crystal light in there to make it a little bit of flavor. Excuse me. But I have that now. I'm drinking, taking the cough drops, the Ricolas that my dear friend Tina sent to me, which I greatly appreciate. Also, I've been eating way better. I think I somehow lost weight during the quarantine when I was eating like shit. I probably lost muscle, which is not a good thing. It's about people are learning more and more how to self-preserve and self-care than we were expecting to have to learn about. So it's definitely a positive to this crap that we're learning about caring for one another. In theory, I am anyway. Stupid cough drop. There we go. And caring about ourselves and taking care of ourselves. That's why I'm drinking the better water because it's you're supposed to drink 2 liters of water, 2 liters of this a day, and I'm about halfway through the second one. So there you go. Everyone does need therapy in some ways, Amazu, no question about it. I saw a great meme and a great shirt went along with it. It said, "People are in therapy because they have to live with people who should be in therapy." It's like, yep. All walks of life. So that's what I'm doing. I'm drinking more water. I'm walking when it's not 115, melt my ginger ass outside. Eating better and staying busy is the key thing for me. I have tried so hard to remain busy that I haven't even thought about it. When I'm not actively in front of you guys or in a panel with Aaron or whatever, I'm finding ways to create graphics for the shows or take notes or watch content or something to actively keep me working until it's like, okay, I need to sleep. It's just unhealthy. Dwayne Atkinson with $3 super chat. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Who will jump ship from AEW to WWE first? That's a good question. Okay. That's a very hard question. We're still in the first official full year of AEW's existence. So considering people would jump back to or jump from to is kind of unrealistic to think about because I feel the people that have jumped from WWE to AEW or have signed as free agents or whatever you want to call it have gone for a reason. I don't think they're encouraging their homegrown brethren to seek greener pastures. So ask me that again in a year and we'll see where AEW is. And like I said, this year is just effing weird. So, do you really want to make a judgment on that based on the weirdest year in the history of our lives? So there you go. Okay, I'm gonna run a commercial real quick because I can because I have the button. I have the button. I have the power. So we will be right back after this brief interlude of commercials. Stay tuned. There you go. In Zamazu We Trust with a $5 super chat says, thank you, Jeff, for all your contributions. Your RBD interview introduced me to the Nerdy Q Galaxy. Salute, sir. That would have been 2008, I believe, is the one he's talking about, Adrian. We interviewed Rob a few times on this channel, on our channels. We first had him on WrestleMania week 2005 when he was rehabbing the injury to his knee. We interviewed him at his comic book store in the Lakewood Mall here in Southern California. We had a good long chat with him then. 9 months later, we had him on again as he was getting ready to come back from the injury at the 2006 Royal Rumble at his other comic book store in Lomita, California, which is way the fuck down there. Talk Wrestling that you mentioned, 2008, January of 2008. And then we had a 4-part series with him in 2014 when I returned home to the mothership after being gone for 2 years or 3 years, whatever it was. And he was also on my little thing I did with Booker T's events 3 years ago, I believe, following No Mercy at Hollywood and Highland. Booker and Dustin and Eli Drake and RVD and Katie Forbes and Kurt Angle was on that show, Corey Graves, Renee Young, David Arquette, star-studded panel. I had a great time. It was a tremendous show. And then I recently interviewed Rob for my audio podcast earlier this year on my birthday, actually. So there you go. We love Rob. We've loved Rob the entire time we've been in business. He is a wonderful friend to the Nerdy Q Galaxy and to the Championship Network, and I can't underscore his friendship enough when I was going through my recent concussion stuff. So Rob, if you're out there, if somebody out there is letting Rob know, we love him, and love to have you back on the show, brother. Let me know. Dwayne Atkinson with a $2 super chat says, will Eric Rowan join the Dark Order with Brody Lee? It wouldn't surprise me, Dwayne, honestly. That seems to be the natural course of things, right? I mean, there was talk, I heard, that they were going to bring him into the swap match with Bray and Braun, but I don't think it really got anything further than, oh, well, you know, it'd be a cool thing. But if you're not going to have all of them, kind of stupid, I feel. So, as far as him joining AEW, I wouldn't mind seeing that. I just don't know if Eric Rowan and Luke Harper are able to be translated into Brody Lee and whatever character Eric would get. Like, Brody Lee is a very multifaceted human being and can pull off the whatever he's doing now character, whatever you want to call that character, with the Dark Order. I have not seen Rowan's work outside of the Wyatt family Rowan guy or the guy with Daniel Bryan. So it would be one of those things where I'd like to see them try something, but I would be curious how they would approach it. If that makes any sense. So, all right, let me, I meant to do this at the top of the show and I got sidetracked because people were waiting for me to pop on. So let me just throw this up there right now. I did throw the birthdays up there. So I will mention one more. Our buddy Sean Black, who turns 32 today. So God bless you, Sean. He was on our shows when I was with the Casa 18 Studios. There you see the little screen cap courtesy there. Today's Sean's birthday. He is a huge friend of the show as well. We love Sean, and I worked with him quite a bit when I was doing my indie thing. I actually managed his tag team partner Sam Knight in a match against one of the evil Russian characters we had at one of the federations I worked for. So we love Sean. So happy birthday, Sean. We love you, bud. And thank you to everybody who happy birthday to everybody else that I mentioned, Paige and John and Dick Togo and Donnie Wahlberg. Donnie Wahlberg, hey, new kid on the NKOTB, baby. WrestleMania 10 celebrity. You gotta love that, right? It's good shit. So there you go. Eric Redbeard, which again, is it the same basic gimmick though? Like, is he still wild guy with the crazy beard and the crazy hair, because I don't know how well that particular version of himself translates to the Dark Order. Luke Harper, the Wyatt family guy, could not be Brody Lee, the leader. They're not the same character. So my question would be, where is Eric's comfort level on character switch, and where is the interest from Cody and Matt and Nick and Kenny and Tony Khan? Where is their interest in bringing Eric in? I'd like to see it happen. I like Eric Rowan. I thought they kind of dicked him with the Bryan Danielson thing, or Daniel Bryan thing, but it's kind of, I guess you just, again, one of those things, you just kind of throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. And sometimes things don't stick. It just kind of, it is what it is. I said with Colin before you signed off, it is what it is. Appreciate the comments on the commercials, Zamazu. I just like having a cool presentation. So, there you go. That's just me. So, anyway, there you go. So, Colin mentioned Asuka. I did not mention Asuka in my earlier discussion about Raw, because we were talking so much about the Thunderdome, and the McIntyre Orton thing, and of course what happened with I forget now. I'm that awful. Somebody, I forget who it was, and forgive me because it wasn't a super chat, but I will bring it up anyway. Somebody mentioned the possibility of making the 2 women's singles championship matches a triple threat because they have the same challenger. I don't see them doing that, only because that either way, either if they do 2 singles matches or if they do a triple threat, Asuka's at a supreme disadvantage. Now, I will say this. If they do what they did with Becky and Charlotte and Ronda, and it's winner take all, then maybe, just a little bit maybe, we get the tease of the breakup between the role models. So, is it conceivable? Yes. Is it probable? No. I also am curious how they're going to use Shawn Michaels tonight. Shawn Michaels, they've made it a huge point to advertise Shawn Michaels' presence in the PC tonight. He will be at Monday Night Raw tonight. You got, like I said, I mentioned this with Wrestling Tonight. You got to believe he's going to take the shot from Orton tonight. Why else bring a legend in this close to SummerSlam with Randy Orton on the loose as a legend killer, right? So that's my guess, is that he'll attack Shawn Michaels, like we talked about with Wrestling Infinity earlier. He will be the one that takes the punt, or the RKO, or whatever the case may be. So it wouldn't surprise me one bit if that is the case. Yeah. So, all right. I am coming up on the bottom of the hour. I'm exhausted. I've been talking pretty much nonstop for an hour and a half, almost an hour and 40 minutes, except for the commercials. So I appreciate you guys coming on again tomorrow. On both these channels, you will find prediction shows for SummerSlam 2020 at 5:30 Eastern, which would be 2:30 Pacific. You will have the Jeff Meacham Network side of things. Myself, Big Baller G, and I believe a couple others will be on that show. And then at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, you'll have the Nerdy Q team with Aaron, I believe Virtue, I believe TJS, and a 4th member of their team. So that's what's on the docket for tomorrow on both these channels. Wednesday on both these channels, you will see this face along with the reigning, defending, undisputed, thus far in this reign undefeated, NoDQ.com wrestling trivia champion, Greg Cherry, as he takes on as he and I tackle SummerSlam 95. It's going to be one of those shows. It's a one match show, but Greg was there. He likes it. I like it. It's greatly appreciated that you guys voted for it, because I really thought you guys voted for SummerSlam 2014. I did not want to sit through that again. That's a very hard show for me to do. So, Adrian, the €2 super chat right here at the end. Do you ever drink Guinness? No, I cannot handle Guinness. It's much too rough on my system. It's a terrible thing for me to handle. So I don't do it. It isn't pretty. I don't like doing it. Rob Williams. And again, thank you guys very much. It is appreciated very, very much. I love you guys, and thank you for supporting this channel, both these channels, and the shows we do. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com later tonight on the YouTube side of things for a full recap of Monday Night Raw, and with Aaron, of course. And we will see you guys next time. Next week, we'll be back here and talk wrestling as well. So there you go. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.